yeah, 100%. And I tell you what, it's a lot more riveting to watch.
Yeah.
Than
All you need
practice.
to do is just follow the action and not too zoomed in, not too zoomed out, just nice and busy.
Correct. Don't miss the goals.
Yeah.
And zoom in on whoever scored it.
And zoom out for the goal drops.
Yeah.
That's a big one. That's a big request of the Heidelberg page. Just so it's just show as much money as you can.
Yeah, because you need to see where they're playing. So I assume you also commentate like lots
Let's go.
Yeah, look,
Let's go.
look, I'm just
It is a perfect August afternoon here in Melbourne, a fitting backdrop for the final day of the NPL Men's Victoria season, where 8 games will kick off simultaneously across the state as the Victorian top flight marks the conclusion of its regular season. And here, emanating from By the Bay JL Murphy Reserve in Port Melbourne, perhaps the pick of the bunch, as Heidelberg United, fresh off their midweek destruction of A-League men's side the Wellington Phoenix, travel to face the Port Melbourne Sharks with plenty on the line. The Sharks, already relegated, looking to play spoiler as Johnny Anastasiadis' Burgers look to seal a place in the first iteration of the Australian Championship. Just a point from this game will be enough for the Burgers to return to the national stages once more in a couple of months, and meanwhile, potentially, with a bit of help from Green Gully, if they can get 3 points against Avondale in another simultaneous kick-off, a premiership, the first for the Burgers in a few years, could be coming to Catalina Street. My name is Joey Lynch. Thank you ever so much for joining us this afternoon on the NPL Victoria YouTube page. No matter where you happen to be it here in Melbourne, Victoria, Australia, or indeed anywhere around the world, as we just await the signal for kick-off here in Port Melbourne. As I said, it is a gorgeous day. Hardly a cloud in the sky, barely any wind, nothing that could distract these two sides from hopefully putting on an entertaining contest, as that ball is immediately sent out. Will be a Heidelberg United throw-in. Jamal Ali over there to take it. And while the visitors, if it isn't broke, don't fix it. They are unchanged from the side that defeated Wellington 4-0 midweek. That means that they are making 3 changes from the side that drew 1-1 with Oakley last week in the league. Yaron Souza is in goal, Ben Collins, Jamal Ali, Anthony Lesiotis, Fletcher Fulton, Moadara, Buljuarch, who is almost certain to seal a golden boot today, coming in on 19 goals, well clear of second-placed Joe Guest. Sahi Yokokawa, Savnor, Ryan Lethlean, Max Basesso rounds out the 11. For Port Melbourne, who, as I mentioned, their fate already sealed, relegated. They will be in the VPL 1 next season, the Thunderdome that is the Victorian second tier. They're getting back now to defend, and I'll just watch that one bounce out for a goal kick. They've got Luka Romic in goal in front of him, Owen McCloskey, Oliver Jankolovsky, Anthony Laban, Aidan Brown, their leading scorer out there today with 2 goals. Not a lot of goals out there for the Sharks today. Plenty of players missing. Mitch Tojewski, Jonathan Vakurtzis, the skipper, George Mells, William Gillingham, Daniel Serra, and Nathan Dibb rounding out the 11. So that's 1 change from the side that lost 4-0 to the Altona Magic last week. Raid Muyet is out with a yellow card suspension. Nathan Dibb comes into the side, the 22-year-old, making his 6th start of the campaign. As Fulton floats that one forward, Charge trying to battle for it, couldn't come up with it. Dara getting in the road and winning it back for his side, combining with Lesiotis. Midfield of Heidelberg, this engine room that has proven so effective throughout the campaign, as they will have the opportunity to reload and come again. Yokokawa to Lesiotis. Jamal Ali's made a dash down the right flank. Can he get there? No, he can't. Ball is put out for a corner. Maybe some thoughts, maybe of a free kick afterwards. None coming. McCloskey has to settle himself with preventing Jamal Ali from getting on the end of that one. An early set-piece opportunity for Heidelberg United if they can get a ball delivered out to Sahi Yokokawa. And eventually coming in from the grandstand. And another one from the pitch behind the goal. So a couple to choose from. Brown gets rid of the latter. Yokokawa stands over the former. players on the goal line for the Burgers. Everybody back to defend this one, the Sharkies. High ball towards the top of the box. It was Brown coming through with a strong defensive header, but only as far as Lesiotis. His pass, not the best, seized upon by Sarah, who looks to break his side forward quickly in transition, springing Aiden Brown up. But Burgers quick to contain, quick to win it back. To left lead with the skipper Ben Collins. Lethlean with dib in his face. So he goes laterally rather than forwards. Patience from the Burgers. I expect them to have the vast majority of possession today. Carla turns. Got it to Fulton, central to Lesiotis, back to Fulton in front of the Heidelberg dugout. Lesiotis forward to Yokokawa. And Kolowski got in his back. Dib now, swarms, but did well to retain possession. Brown fainted the first time ball, kept it. Got it to Kurtzis. Chance. Port Melbourne to look to build up. Knocked forward. Fulton couldn't bring it in. That allowed Dib to pounce. Flicked forward by Mells, but just off target. And it will go out for a Heidelberg throw-in. As mentioned, games kicking off across Victoria at 3 p.m. today. We'll bring you updates from around the grounds as they come in. We already do have a goal in one game. Melbourne Knights against Altona. Knights looking to escape the bottom of the table, a wooden spoon. They've already been relegated, but they are down 1-0 to the Altona Magic, who sealed safety last week. Goal in the first minute. Sees Altona ahead in that one. And comfortably out in front of the relegated trio now, up to 27 points. The Knights, meanwhile, need to get themselves a win and hope for Port Melbourne defeat if they are to escape the wooden spoon this season. Lesiotis. Heidelberg once more. Knock the ball around and get through this Port Melbourne block. Play by Adara to spring them forward into the final third. Seto's ball in. Balls to Ali. Ball up for grabs. It's Port Melbourne that come away with it. And Brown's got an angle on Lethlean. Dib steaming forward to provide some support. Brown forced onto his left foot, couldn't cut it back onto his right by Lethlean. Sliding challenge by Brown to keep the play alive. Lethlean, the big centre back, got it to Collins, and then he coolly knocks it forward, and the Burgers repulse the danger. Lesiotis closed down by Kurtzis. Big coming together there, Fulton. Ate some dirt after colliding with the Port Melbourne skipper, Kurtzis, who will get himself a talking to, but avoid any further sanction. Probably and his cause aided by Fulton immediately. Bouncing to his feet now, Buljuarch. Chase that one down. scored his 20th lead goal on the season today. A brace against Western Sydney in the Australia Cup a few weeks ago as well. In addition to his Deputy Cup goals, it's been a fine first season in yellow and black for George. His 19 goals means that he is now, well, he now possesses the second best goal scoring campaign for the Burgers in the NPL era. He's overtaken Dan Heffernan's 2014 campaign with 18 goals for that honour. Needs a hat-trick today if he's going to match Kenny Athew's 2017 effort of 22 goals. A free kick going the way of Owen McCloskey in Port Melbourne. You're just a little too enthusiastic with his attempts to win the ball back. So no goals anywhere else around the grounds beyond that Altona opener against the Melbourne Knights, which means the top six is as it was heading into the round. Seto goes back, so Avondale leading the league, 2 points clear of Heidelberg. And Dandenong Thunder third, 3 points back of the Burgers. And Oakley, Preston Lions and Dandenong City round out the top six. Hume come into today needing a win, and a Dandenong City slip up to force their way into the top six. Hume on the road against St Albans. Dandenong City away against Melbourne Victory Youth as Fulton tried to just wind up from the top of the box, didn't make proper contact with it, just dragged it wide of the post. So if scores were to remain the same, we'd get a Dandy derby in the first week of the finals. Dandenong City travelling to face the Thunder at George Andrews. We get Oakley hosting Preston in another elimination final. Basetto brings it to the byline, looking for the cutback, but it has just snuck out. Oh, big goal has come across my Cypher score up. Green Gully, per the app, have taken a 1-0 lead over Avondale at Green Gully Reserve. Opening the door, if things stay the same, for Heidelberg to leap ahead of the Avengers with a win. And somebody has just gone to tell the Heidelberg dugout and been immediately reprimanded by the coaching staff. They do not want to know is the response. They want to focus on this game. Well, I hope they can't hear me from my commentary position just behind them, because I am not going to shut up about it, especially if this continues on deep into the games. But Green Gully with a 1-0 lead over Avondale. Of course, we saw during the week Avondale with their big win in the Australia Cup, 6-2 over Brisbane City, so they can score goals and they can score a lot of them. Poor boy. If we wanted a little intrigue, everybody tuning in on the stream, we do indeed have it early on. Fulton gets it to Basetto, clever pass. Adara keeps it low along the turf, deflected away. Dib, closed down by Lethley, bullies him off the ball using that big frame. Pass just gets away from Basetto. Collins stole it from Brown. Collins looking up, he wants an option. Eventually he gets Jamal Ali out on the right flank. Ali. Good ball across, Buljaj. Couldn't get his head around it. Seeing a lot of this ball early on that left flank. There's another touch. Now the ball with Basato, who's not going to be able to keep that one easy. Don't look from my position like he'd let it run out, but the assistants on this side had a better view than I and determined that it was still in. Didn't take long though for the ball to go out to Port Melbourne's advantage. Moved forward. Just trying to use his body. Manipulated it to the advantage of Yokokawa. Lesiotis, aware of the oncoming defender. Did very well, Lesiotis, getting it to Basato. He wants a free kick. The advantage is played. Berger's dugout would have preferred a free kick. Ali, one way and then the other. Swatch. Finds an angle through once again, could Heidelberg. Souza adopting a sweeper keeper role with Port Melbourne once again nestling into their block. On his own in the Heidelberg half is Yaron Souza. 21 other players on Port Melbourne's side of the pitch. Of course, that does mean that the space is going to be very compacted. Muir trying to get in behind, and he did so, but resulting looping ball towards the back post finds naught for those wearing red and blue. Arch goes down, immediately waved away by the referee. George Mills did not look too stressed whatsoever, and probably with good reason. Oh. And update from that Avondale Green Gully game. Avondale have equalised. So, as mentioned, they can score a lot of goals. They've scored more goals than anybody else this NPL men's Victoria season, and they are now back at level pegging the Avengers. Kawa. Again, Heidelberg just running into a brick wall as they attempt to move the ball into the penalty area, and can Dib and Port Melbourne catch them in transition. Mel's now. You got Devon Brown advancing into the middle. Ball is sent in the Brown direction. Everybody lost it. But it also appears to have ricocheted off a hand But that's the danger for Heidelberg United. They've been doing a lot of attacking, a lot of territory. You can't fall asleep because Port Melbourne will catch them in transition. George turns and just runs into a pack of defenders. Brown gets to Mells. Port Melbourne never played down behind play. We'll knock it into touch. Oliver Jankolowski, who just got the ball straight to the breadbasket. As Port Melbourne encircled Juarez as he attempted to turn and place goal. Might have been a case of friendly fire there from his teammate Stojewski. Long-term damage has been done. And play can resume here at J.L. Murphy Reserve, and Heidelberg have come forward with an intense press. Bisetto winning, Yokokawa winning the ball back, only for Bisetto to just let it get away from him at the crucial moments as he looked to get to the byline, and instead it will roll out for a Port Melbourne goal kick, which they will send to the left before sending long. He's Bonds behind it, preventing Daniel Serra from running onto it. Territory is shifted. And that ball over the top intended for Dib. Souza came, but the flag had also been raised before he had to make the punch. But again, Melbourne just looking to use their speed and get in behind this Heidelberg backline. Push their fullbacks very high, do Heidelberg. Kawa. Right-footed ball in, looking for the run of Buljarch. Mel's header, he goes as far as Fletcher Fulton. Dara has tons of space to turn. Ali, Savignor. Lesiotis, he can turn. Slides it forward, George. And able to get a shot off, good defended. Stojewski. His body in the road. Heidelberg will have to content themselves. Another corner kick from that right-hand attacking flank. Yokokawa. It's more getting across to whip it in. As the wind is picking up a bit, you can see that flag thanks to Heidelberg's Japanese attacker fluttering towards him, so any right-footed delivery will swing that a little bit further away from goal. Collins' header. It's more down towards the pack than it was towards goal, and that sees Port Melbourne get it away. Lesiotis shook off the attention of Dib. Couldn't find a way around McCloskey. Dara, Ali, back to Adara. Sesso, Fulton. Lesiotis. Fulton, top of the box, Adara wound up. Mel's charged it down. Yokokawa gets the ball back. Kept off the line, but not on the second occasion. And Heidelberg have been knocking on the door pretty much ever since kickoff. And they have their breakthrough in the 24th minute. Buljuarch cannot stop scoring. He has 20 goals on the campaign. And Heidelberg United have taken a 1-0 lead here at J.L. Murphy Reserve. You got the sense it was coming. A few attacks in transition by Port Melbourne. But really, the vast majority of the territory of the possession had been Heidelberg's, and eventually bounced and went their way in the penalty area, and with it, the Anastasiadis side have themselves a 1-0 advantage. An advantage which does bring them level on points with Avondale, who are currently tied at 1-1 with Green Gully. Well, we'll pause as Lesiotis has won the ball back. Lesiotis could have made it 2-0 with 2 in 2 minutes, but did everything right up until it came time to put something on the targets, playing it well wide. I was saying, Heidelberg now up 1-0. Reason level on points with Avondale, 59. However, Avondale's superior goal difference means that they would still take out the premiership in such a scenario. Yokokawa. His shot deflected away. Meanwhile, we have another goal. This one, and at Jack Edwards. The Oakley Cannons have taken a 1-0 lead over South Melbourne in their game. Reinforcing Chris Taylor's side's hold on 4th position as it stands. Victory Dandy City, St Albans Hume, Preston Dandy Thunder still scoreless. Tona still with a 1-0 lead over the Melbourne Knights. Oakley with that lead over South Melbourne. Avondale over Green Gully, locked up at 1-1, and this game Heidelberg with a 1-0 advantage. Probably you could make a case it should be 2-0 unless the Otis struck true. Long ball forward, but too much mustard on it, not giving Daniel Serra a chance to chase it down, and Yaron Sizer will make the claim. Lesiotis, he hadn't scored a NPL Victoria goal coming into this season, but he certainly found something of a goal-scoring touch throughout the campaign. Got 4 in league play, plus a few very big ones in the cup. League 2, his last goal it was a while ago now, but big free kick to defeat Melbourne Knights. So scored against Western Sydney a few weeks ago. One of his former A-League men's sides, Western Sydney Wanderers. Spent time at Melbourne City and Melbourne Victory. Actually, the first player to play senior minutes first for Melbourne City and then Melbourne Victory. It's become a well-trodden path in recent years, but he was the first to do so. Seto. A lot of their attacks coming up the left, not quite able to link up as cleanly as they would have liked. George's ball Back into the danger area, cleared away. Collins. Second attempt header, gets it to Yokokawa. Sort of tell what kind of rhythm this game has settled into when you see Heidelberg's centre-back, Ben Collins, marauding forward and looking to turn playmaker. Gillingham sends it back to his keeper and Lukoromic. Port Melbourne back five. 3 centre-backs, 2 wing-backs looking to build up. Kurtzis sends it down the touchline. Dib gives chase, so does Lethlean. Gets across his man and then shields it all the way out. Goal kick. We've had 2 goals in 2 minutes out in sunshine, and unfortunately for the Melbourne Knights, they've both been scored by the Altona Magic. They now lead Melbourne Knights 3-0 in their contest in the 30th minute. So that basically means that, well, no, that doesn't basically mean, it does mean that in the past 120 minutes of football, the Melbourne Knights have conceded 10 goals. Season to forget, given a rather lamentable ending at Summer Street. Coming across. Somewhat of a heavy touch, but he had plenty of time to recover. Alessiota scanning before he receives it and hearing the footsteps of Aidan Brown. He just sent it back from whence it came. Fulton has Bassetto, and that's where it goes. Yokokawa, good ball to Fulton on his right foot, non-preferred. Yokokawa couldn't bring it down cleanly. Moedara got his boot through it. Collected the heels. Bulduarchi was in an offside position. Did not mean to make contact with that at all with the Burgers number 9. From our position, one cannot be certain that that was destined for the bottom corner, but it is now redundant. Dara winning it straight back. His attempts at a low cross picked out Anthony Laban. Klosky well under pressure, ensuring his side retains possession. With a header. Sarah laying it off for McCloskey. I'm not laying it off. In fact, it was poked away from him, but that means that it'll be a Port Melbourne throw-in just inside their own half of the pitch. There's a lot of space for the Curtis out here on the right if Port Melbourne could get it to him quick enough. That pass didn't help things as Curtis had to come back to provide the option. And instead, Sharks are going to have to build up against an embedded Heidelberg backline. Mills eking the ball forward, looking for the run of a Curtis. Fulton intervenes, sends it high into the sky. Bassetto flew for the header. Laban brings it down. Besetto has remained down on the turf. Port Melbourne want to keep the play moving in a rare attack. Curtis knocks it forward. Barn couldn't get there before it's cleared away by Fulton. Yankulowski sends it back to the Sharks. Big claim by Aaron Souza. Under pressure from Aiden Brown. Adelaide are currently playing North over at Marvel Stadium, not too far from here. Wouldn't have looked out of place with that grab of Yaron Souza's under the rooftop at Docklands. York carrying it inside, gets it to Lesiotis. Fulton. 3 defenders in front of him, so he earns to Besetto. His cross collects one defender before a second comes in and boots it clear. Gains a few metres of territory as he puts that one out. Some Lord is back. Collins. He's pulling them all out of the old bag today is Ben Collins. Forward as a playmaker, twists and turns and spins. Judge looks up, can he find a teammate? Cuts it back, he can find a teammate, but it's again deflected off the line. But this one has come off the back of Asahi Yokokawa. Max Besetto had his 5th goal of the season, but then in comes flying his teammate, who inadvertently deflects it out. Well, no, the ball has been determined to be a corner. I could have sworn it came off Yokokawa. Regardless, Besetto inches away from a goal. Heidelberg inches away from a 2-0 advantage. Well, they only have to wait a few more moments for it, though. As the ball is sent in, it's going to be a free kick awarded against Ben Collins. Well, that ball has taken an awkward bounce. Heidelberg are looking to pounce and take advantage. Lesiotis winds up. And Luka Romic getting across, and he flew to put the ball out. Got behind it and then leapt skyward to add a bit of Hollywood pizzazz to the save. And he denies Lesiotis to keep this game at 1-0 with 38 minutes gone here on the scoreboard at JL Murphy Reserve. Low cross in, not the best delivery at all. Dib seized upon it, but then his attempt to keep the play moving and find Daniel Serra, very wayward, well behind the attacker. And Heidelberg have quickly manufactured another corner. Better delivery this time, but very good defensive header, Gillingham. So out there on the left. Stared down well. Brown, and that sees Heidelberg forced to content themselves with a throw-in on this left-hand attacking flank to be taken by Fletcher Fulton. Rudge sends it back to him. Collins, plenty of time to assess. And that ball's taken a ricochet off a divot as well. Cost the Burgers possession though, as Lesiotis flicks it up. Nor left-footed cross falls to Adara. Round one, round two, Mo Adara. Can he get a shot off? Ran out of real estate. Ooh.
Get behind, get behind! Leg it, Brownie! Get ready!
Max Bassetto has copped the ball in an area that I don't think anybody wants to cop a ball in. That clearance thundered to the 21-year-old attacker who went down to the turf and stayed there. Now back to his feet now and gingerly attempting to walk it off. Now the drop ball to Heidelberg's advantage. Sees plays resume. Collins to Lesiotis. Loops the ball over the top. Couldn't find its intended recipient, Jamal Ali. Sloppiness trying to play out from the back again from Port Melbourne. Opens the door for Heidelberg. They can't go through it. Kawa unable to keep that one in. Port Melbourne throw in deep on their defensive left flank. Just under 4 minutes of regulation remaining in his opening stanza here at JL Murphy Reserve. Heidelberg retaining their 1-0 lead.
Yes, go!
Curtis, with time and space, switches the play across, trying to drop it into the path of George Mills. Claimed by Yaron Souza instead. Lesiotis spears it out to the left. Fulton arrived just before the Curtis. Raj tries to turn. And such luck with Mitch Krajewski behind him. Raj now doing battle with Nikolovsky. Big defenders for Port Melbourne. In his back five.
Yes, Brownie, good boy!
Collins header straight into Brown. Set up for the Heidelberg defender who just lost his footing.
Go!
Now he's going to have to sprint back. Wild from the halfway line! Oh my God! Anthony Laban has looked up, spotted Yaron Souza off his line and gone bang!
You got a cup for that, boys. Fuck you. Wow, good boy.
Something from nothing. The turnover from Collins leads to one of the most remarkable goals of the season, and just like that, on the stroke of half-time, Port Melbourne have tied this game up.
Come on! Let's go again. Ronald, come on, boys!
Dip now, remarkable stuff.
Take him.
And now their tails up. Port Melbourne coming forward once more. Dib combining on the 1-2 with McCurtzes. Fulton got across, his last judge to have come off Dib. With the momentum all of a sudden, Port Melbourne trying to claim it back. I mean, can a shark have its tail up? Is that physically possible for them? I don't know, but Port Melbourne left the Burgers slightly stunned. As Mel's nods it on. You can probably imagine at the Reggio Calabria Club, people got their app of choice up for around the grounds updates and celebrating right now as Yokokawa puts that one over, and those Avondale's fans see that the Burgers have been pegged back, and that even with that game between Avondale and Green Gully still locked up at 1-1, an extra level of security for Avondale's premiership aspirations. Knocked forward. George couldn't bring it down. Fulton across to Ali as 2 minutes of added time is signalled for. 120 seconds. More football to be played here by the Bay before the coaches can get into the rooms and provide some further instructions. Fulton out there on the right, scans. Ali kept it in. Lesiotis pressured by Dib. That's going to be offside against Ali. Well, it's injury time, or there or thereabouts, across Victoria, and we've had goals in every game. Dandenong City lead Melbourne Victory Youth. That game would seal Nick Tolios' side a place in the playoffs. Melbourne Knights 3-0 down at home against Altona. Oakley up 1-0 against a 10-man South Melbourne. Javier Diaz-Lopez, star goalkeeper, sent off for Hellas. This game, 1-1. Preston Lions are up 2-0 over the Dandenong Thunder. So any hopes that the Thunder would have held of seizing a championship place off Heidelberg, bit of a non-starter unless they can get back into that game. Hume leading St Albans 1-0. And Avondale and Green Gully locked up at 1-1. Lesiotis looking for Bassetto. When the Burgers take advantage and get back to 2-1 late in this opening stanza, Lesiotis curving it over the crossbar with the last kick of the opening stanza. But after 45 minutes of football, Heidelberg United, after leading for much of that opening half, pegged back late by a wonder goal from near the halfway line by Anthony Laban of Port Melbourne. And just like that, well, Australian Championship aspirations for the Burgers still on track. A point enough for Johnny Anastasiadis' side to seal that, but any premiership aspirations they might have harboured regardless.
Let's go!
Welcome back, one and all, to Port Melbourne on this final day of the NPL Men's Victoria season, after a first half which, well, once more has reminded us why we play these games and not just go off the form guide. Just days after defeating A-League men's side, the Wellington Phoenix 4-0, Heidelberg United have come out here by the bay needing a win to keep their hopes of a premiership alive, needing a point to ensure their qualification for the first ever iteration of the Australia Cup, but find themselves entering this second half locked at 1 apiece with already relegated Port Melbourne. Bulger Archer's opening goal cancelled out just on the stroke of half-time by a wonder goal from the Sharkies' Anthony Laban, almost from the halfway line, spotting Yaron Souza off his goal line and bringing this game back up to parity and adding another level of intrigue to this final day of the Victorian Top Flight's regular season for 2025. My name's Joey Lynch. Thank you ever so much for joining us for the second half of this one as the Sharks come forward once more. Sarah sending it out to Vakurtzis on the right. His left-footed effort deflected away, but then flashed in at the near post by Brown. Curtis and Mouse. Vakurtzis, the Sharks lead! The skipper with an absolute thunderbolt. And moments into the second stanza, Port Melbourne have a 2-1 lead. And the Sharks, who entered this game second bottom of the league, I haven't won a game in 6, last winning in June. I haven't won at home since March, back in round 8. But then all of a sudden, 2 absolute wonder goals on either side of the half-time break. Has this sign, has coach Maxim Godowski's side ahead 2-1 over Heidelberg United. And once again, one and all tuning in, this is why we play the games on grass, not paper. And how now does Heidelberg United look to respond? One imagines that their players wearing yellow and black are stunned. Sharks start quickly. They didn't do much attacking in that opening stanza. And Vakurtzis with an absolute blast into the top corner. They did also make a change at the halftime break, did the Sharks. Levi Lister, youngster, making his senior debut. He's been an unused sub across the past 2 weeks. He came on for Owen McCloskey, so a proud moment for him. Mostly played with the under-19s this season, a few games with the under-23s as well. Former Murray United product. Elsewhere around the grounds, well, Dundee City, they needed to get a win after Hume went up 1-0 over St Albans, and it looks like they're going to deliver on that. Tullius' side up 3-0 over Melbourne Victory Youth at the home of the Matildas. Collins coming under some fierce pressure from Brown. Port Melbourne wants the ball, they're not going to get it. Leapfrog forward and gain a few more metres. Out the sunshine, the Melbourne Knights still 3-0 down against Altona. Oakley retaining a 1-0 advantage over 10-player South Melbourne. As Yokokawa flicks that one on. So Muir moves to chase, but Gillingham knocks it clear. Preston Lions still up 2-0 over the Dandy Thunder. So Heidelberg United could have slipped down to third and out of the Australian Championship with a loss. However, the Thunder down to Preston don't look like they'll be able to take advantage, short of a second half turnaround. As mentioned, Hume up 1-0 over St Albans, and Avondale Green Gully remains locked at 1-1. So if Green Gully was to strike again and retake the lead, Heidelberg United not in a position to take advantage. Will need to score twice if they are to do so. Aaron Souza coming up to play sweeper keeper again. Brian Lefley. Otis. Jamal Ali out here on the right. Dara knocks it forward. Ali pokes it to Buljuarch. His attempt to cut it back, however, not to worry by William Gillingham. Defender knocks it out for a corner on this right hand flank, the first corner of the second stanza for Heidelberg United. It's Sahi Okagawa across to take. Driven in towards the near post, flicked around the corner by Basesso. He swears that Luka Romic got a touch on it. His dugout's joined in as well, but the decision is a goal kick. Going once more. He started 3 games since he arrived mid-season from Scottish side Cove Rovers. Got a goal in the Sharks' 1-1 draw with Dandy City back in round 24. Well, it could have cost him, dearly. As mentioned, with that win over Melbourne Victory that it looks like they're about to record, they will play finals. Kawa make proper contact with the cross. Goal kick, and Ben Collins certainly showing a bit of urgency, immediately grabbing a replacement ball from the 4th official so the Sharks can get started quickly. Elsewhere around the ground, the Melbourne Knights have got one back against Alsona, so they're now down 3-1 at home. That game low stakes. Melbourne Knights already relegated. Alsona Magic can't play finals, can't be relegated. You can certainly see the urgency to get play started quickly from Heidelberg, but just listening to some of the chat out there and observing some of the body language, frustration evident amongst the Burgers players as well. Unexpectedly down 2-1 in this game. Even with their second spot on the table being maintained by the Dandy Thunder's current 2-goal deficit against Preston. A loss not what the Burgers want coming off such a big week. They want to maintain that momentum, maintain that rhythm heading into the NPLMVIC Victoria finals, let alone a semi-final against either Auckland or Sydney FC. That Han Australia Cup clash set to take place later this evening up there in Sydney. Steve Corica's side, after winning an A-League Men Premiership in their first season in existence last season, attempting to reach Australia Cup final for the first time of asking. To do so, they'll have to go through the Sky Blues and then Alexander. They'll face either Avondale, Newcastle Jets, or Macarthur, the Avengers, set to play hosts to either the Bulls or the Jets in the other semi-final. A clash between the two A-League men's sides set to take place tomorrow afternoon. Full fancy forward for Heidelberg. Cassetto picked out. Brown couldn't keep it in. One wonders when we might be seeing changes from John Anastasiadis' side. They got a relatively familiar bench at this point. Johnny Apostolopoulos, Chokdale, Jay McGowan, Nina Klassen, Keil Raffi. Gomez, of course, the backup goalkeeper. He hasn't been cited in league play since round one. Jaron Sosa is through injury. Mells, meanwhile, has to let the ball run as he searches for options. Couldn't find any upfield. Mister getting the ball back, the youngster. Half-time sub, couldn't find a teammate. It's a handball by Port Melbourne, waved away. Barn got the equaliser for the Sharks, knocks it forward in the Brown direction. Mells picks up the scraps. Sarah. Kajeski sends it across, and well, obviously he had to be good, but he was. Fulton picks it out. See two changes from Heidelberg United. Now Jay McGowan preparing to come on. McGowan scoring off the bench against Wellington midweek, getting that fourth goal. Cherry on the Sunday, that famous cup set. Very different circumstances preparing to greet him in this one. His side trailing 2-1. Result that does leave their spot in the Australian Championship, as mentioned, in peril if the Thunder can produce some kind of comeback against Port Melbourne. Not Port Melbourne, against Preston. Gibb, meanwhile, comes forward for Port Melbourne, laying it off for Mells, who in turn sends it back to Sarah. He's put the ball out because behind play across on the other side of the pitch there is a burger down. Looks like it's Anthony Lesiotis. He's now back up to his feet, remonstrating with the official. While the changes are being made, so McGowan enters for Savigny. And Chokdale enters for Max Passetto. So both wingers being switched over by John Anastasiadis in the Burger dugout. Either able to find a way to weave through this well-organised Port Melbourne block in that final third. Passetto had an effort cleaned off the line in the first half. Now their race is run, and we will see Chokdale and Jay McGowan can deliver. getting that goal against Wellington in the Australian Cup midweek. He's actually still waiting to open his league account for the Burgers. Jamie Gowan, meanwhile, he's just got one on the campaign. Came back in round 12 against the Oakley Cannons. They have to get back in defence now. Sharks looking to work their way across. Lister looked for Curtis across the face of the penalty area. Hit it from the Port dugout. We were ignored. Here comes the Sharks once more. That ball's sent in the Brown direction. Daniel Serra find the big number 9. Leslie knocks it forward. It bounces over the head of Laban. Buljarch is just taken out by Krzyzewski. Fairly, however, as play continues.
Keep it! Head up! Yes, good boy, Levi.
Gowan wins it back to Heidelberg. Yokokawa has a bit of space. Closed down by Mills eventually. Left-footed effort. Skied over the crossbar. Maybe took a bit of a bobble before he hit it. Goal kick for Port Melbourne. Luka Romic to take. Started every game this season for the Sharks since his debut back in round 4. Australia after a few years playing in Croatia after he left the Western United system. Advantage is the play. The Sharks spring forward once more. Dibb. 1-2. Back to Nathan Dibb. Levi Lister sends it central. Mills. Dibb scans in front of him. The Burgers have got every man back behind the ball now. Melbourne can suck it in. They'll see the Burgers get back in their block and try to drag them out of shape. Dibb, it's time to turn. Left-footed ball to the top of the box. Mills on his left foot. Can get a shot off. Levi Lister looking against Ali. Did well to get it back to Daniel Serra. Left-footed cross in overhead of Brown. Cleared away by Heidelberg. Buljarch brings it down. Carry it forward. Gillingham in front of him. Good tackle from the Englishman. Kept it in and kept play moving. In fact, he's advancing up the left. The overlapping run, you've got to reward the centre-back when he does that. And he gets the ball back now. So somewhat breaks down in front of him, but they've worked it well, the Sharks. Mills looking up. Can he find a teammate? No. A good patch of play from the Sharks, looking for a goal that would give them a 3-1 lead. And based on what we've seen thus far, a 3-1 lead would probably be enough. Keelan Raffi receiving his final instructions from John Anastasiadis before he gets sent into this fray. Yokokawa, the cutback. Sharks, as they have done so often this afternoon, doing a good job of getting bodies behind the ball. And Kolowski puts his boot through it. Collins goes back to Souza. Brown's thought about sprinting forward to apply the press, thought better of it though. Souza trying to infuse his side with a bit of energy, encouraging them to get forward and lift. Drach dancing towards the penalty area, but he's forced to turn around and look for a teammate. Bell To Ali.
Yes, good boy.
Touch took it away from him and opened it up for a sliding challenge. Leslie Otis. To Collins. Wayne Lethley. Again, 21 players in the Port Melbourne half of the pitch. So's are the only one on the Heidelberg side of things. Leslie Otis. Collins. McGowan to Leslie Otis. That is where it will break down. And the change will be made by Heidelberg.
Get your best back, get your best back, hey!
It is Anthony Leslie Otis who will depart. Gil Raffi come on for his 6th appearance. So 5th appearance of the season. Got the start last week against Oakley. Can he provide the spark that brings the Burgers back into this one? Andrew Arch again frustrated. Strajewski's done a fine job on him today. Fulton. Ball lofted in towards the back post and it cannot be met. I.J. McGowan with a telling header. We'll have another goal kick. Port Melbourne will make a change of their own. Finn Harbinson preparing to enter the fray. Season arrival from Melbourne Victory's youth setup. From the Pauline prospect, he will enter the fray for Dib. Where the goals are going to come from for Port Melbourne heading into this game. 81.8% of their goals this season were absent from the team sheet that was handed in. Mr. Diaz is 8. Alessandrotos is 5. Delano Ferro is 3. Joshua Markowski and Nicholas is Dib, 1 apiece. Not here. Leading goal scorer coming in is Aidan Brown with 2, but Neil Barn and Jonathan Verkurtzis, they've both got their first goals of the campaign in its final week. They are goals that have their side ahead 2-1 over Heidelberg, who did enter this contest with the most miserly defence in the league. They've only conceded 23 goals all season, less than 1 a game.
Good boy, Lebo, runner! Let's go! Let's go, let's go! Tuck in now! Shift across together!
Murphy. Sending it across. Noadara. Sarah. In his face. Cowan to McGowan. McGowan off the crossbar. Play is still alive. 1 attempt. No, blocked away. Still alive for the Burgers. Fletcher Fulton. There's his effort blocked away as well. Is that an omen of things to come? Heidelberg agonisingly close to an equaliser. Had to figure out a way to break down 10, 11 men whenever they've been getting forward. Been frustrated for most of the game, but can that give them a bit of energy, get them going? No doubt. Fuktale and Steve Corica. Well, maybe they're watching this game. No doubt they'll watch the replay if they're not, given that one of them will be facing off with Heidelberg United in the semi-finals of the Australia Cup. I do wonder how much they'll be able to take from this game, however, the way that Port Melbourne have defended deep for most of it. One doesn't imagine that an A-League men's side coming up against an NPL side will look to do that, effective as it might be. Maybe some things to be taken from that early purple patch in this second stanza that saw Port Melbourne grab that 2-1 advantage through an absolute wonder goal from Verkurtzis. Adara whipped across, headed back into the danger area, but Port Melbourne have the bodies where they needed to be once more. Play on is the call. Port Melbourne insisted. Lister dropped an errant blow from Akil Rafi. Players allowed to continue. Heidelberg come forward once more. Port Melbourne ball. Closed out on that right-hand side, but enough to ensure that his side would retain possession. Just over 17 minutes remaining in the second half for the scoreboard. Jay on Mercury reserve. Remains Port Melbourne 2, Heidelberg United 1. Combines with Adara. Low ball. Kicked out at the near post. And Port Melbourne set to clear once again. Laban. Scorer of that first goal. Gets it to Harbinson. Harbinson and McGowan collide. Spills to Laban. Mel's first time ball played forward. Collins seizes upon it for Heidelberg. Swearer in the grounds. Avondale have taken a 2-1 lead over Green Gully. So the Premiership looks like it is set to spend the off-season at the Reggio Calabria club, the Plate. Seemingly destined for the Avengers. That would ostensibly turn focus onto the Australian Championship slot, with Heidelberg United losing this game 2-1. However, it remains 2-0 to the Preston Lions. And just like that, it's 2-2 here in Port Melbourne. A deflected goal. They all count. And a stroke of fortune for Heidelberg United. One that they will argue that based on the balance of play they deserve. The long-range effort. Completely wrong foots Luka Romic. And just like that, parity is restored. And this game is levelled up at 2-2. Not too cleanly. That sets the table for Laban to come away with it for Port Melbourne. Brown trying to hold the play up. Gets the pass back from Laban, appeals for a free kick, waved away. Bulduart sends it to Jay McGowan. Faffed around with it, had it taken off him. Collins came through in front of Harbinson and then had the support. Rafi gets it to Fulton. He's tucking inside from his position on the left, gets it to Choctaw. On the lap in run, ignored. Rafi to Ali. As it bounces away from him and Yokokawa can't keep it in. 15 minutes remaining here by the Bay. Elsewhere around the ground, Victory trailing 3-0 against Dundee City. Altona have a 4-1 lead out at Knight Stadium against the Melbourne Knights. Oakley 2-0 up over 10-player South Melbourne. Preston leading 2-0 at BT Connor Reserve against the Dundee Thunder. Hume City have taken a 2-0 lead over St Albans, but it won't matter with Dandenong City's win over Melbourne Victory. And Avondale on their way to a premiership with a 2-1 lead over Green Gully. Meanwhile, here at Heidelberg, can they make it 3-2? No. Get proper contact on the shot. Brown now for Port Melbourne. Knocked forward. Collins claims it for Heidelberg. Some added levels of desperation beginning to be felt in this game. Heidelberg having got that equalising goal, now looking to go on and get the go-ahead one. All in, cannot find Bulduart. Ice took a touch off a shark. Port Melbourne will make a change, and it's another senior NPL Men's Victoria debut for the Sharkies in this final game of the campaign. 18-year-old Ben Guletza entering the contest in place of Aidan Brown, who has battled valiantly. Brown, he's often been left on an island against Ben Collins and Ryan Lethlean, having to hold the play up. Now he can watch these final 11 and a bit minutes from the dugout, as that's not a good corner. Robinson hacked down. And Yokokawa has taken his last corner. Instruction coming in from John Anastasiadis. As the Burgers looking to make a change as well. Going to come on. He will replace Bulduart. So Bulduart will end his regular season with 20 goals. He won't catch Kenny Athieu for the most in a single season. He's 22 from 2017, stands alone, but he will capture the NPL Men's Victoria Golden Boot. Fine first season in yellow and black for Bulduart after signing in the off-season from the Altona Magic. I'd say when you sign the Golden Boot winner in the off-season, pretty hard to argue that you haven't made the signing of the season. Especially when you account for what he's been able to do in the Doherty and Australia Cups as well. Now Klassen with an early touch, and well, maybe he could have done with a few more quick touches as that one skittled him. But the Burgers have won it back quickly, have they? No. Romic, high clearance out, not too much distance on it though. minutes remaining in this game. Remains 2-2. Remains 2-0 to the Preston Lions over Dandenong Thunder in that game out of BT Connor Reserve. So, whilst the premiership doesn't look like it is on the cards for Heidelberg United, a place in the Australian Championship beckons as the flag has gone up and that attack will peter out. And Kuletsa, just a bit too eager, the youngster. Chucked out. And a burst down the left, his attempted cross blocked away. Shouts a handball from the Heidelberg faithful in the grandstands. They rightly ignored. Raffy knocks it forward, but that's going to be in front of Jay McGowan. As it stands, Heidelberg United, in lieu of Avondale, already serving as a foundation side for the Australian Championship, will take the slot for the NPL Men's Victoria Premiers in the inaugural season of the Australian Championship. Taking their spot in a group with Marconi, Wollongong, and the NPL Tasmania Premiers. That position's still up for grabs. It's South Hobart who currently lead that competition. Heidelberg would open that campaign at home against Marconi on October 12. It'll be the first meeting between Heidelberg and Marconi since round 19 of the 1994-1995 NSL season. Marconi secured a 4-2 win over Heidelberg United. Steve Corica and Ufuk Tale earlier today, potential opponents for Heidelberg United in the semi-finals of the Australia Cup. Well, both of them were playing for Marconi that day. Steve Corica, in fact, got 3 assists. McGowan. Cross gets away from him. Heidelberg also played the Wollongong Wolves in that 1994-1995 NSL season. Their last meeting back in round 22 of that campaign, back when they were known as Wollongong City. Heidelberg got the win on that day, 4-3. Goals from Bobby Despotovsky, 2 of them in fact, and Peter Salakis, Gus. Brace from both of them. To overcome Vaughan Coveney's first minute goal, and a brace from Minio Bonatic, father of Liam and Alex Bonatic. So, old foes set for a reunion as things stand in the Australian Championship. Change is made by Port Melbourne. George Mills, he will take his leave. Kai Lister, brother of Levi, enters the fray. So we've got 2 listers out there. Not the most convincing of clearances by Port Melbourne. Burgers continuing to pour it on, looking for that go-ahead third. Ali's long throw in, not it on, but met at the near post by Luka Romic. Just over 5 minutes remaining in regulation of this one. With time ticking away across the state, the top 6 remains as it was entering the fray. Avondale on the live ladder, set to become premiers. Heidelberg will finish 2nd, the Dandy Thunder 3rd, Oakley 4th, Preston 5th, Dandenong City 6th. Gowan sends it in. Klassen couldn't make contact.
Work, good work, good boy.
Exasperated arms get raised to the sky in the Heidelberg dugout. Johnny Anastasiadis is looking around in disbelief that his side haven't been able to get on the end of something. Take this lead. The way the table currently stands. Pause as McGowan sends a low cross in, blocked away. He can have another go. Left-footed attempt comes in. Out by the Sharks. Collins, he's come forward on the left. His shot blocked away. Raffi winds up. His shot deflected away. Adara sends it across the face of goal. And remember what I mentioned in the opening stanza when Green Gully took a 1-0 lead in their game against Avondale. Somebody had sent it to tell a Heidelberg dugout, and they probably told him they didn't want to know. So I'll start be keeping you updated on what's been happening around the grounds. For all John Anastasiadis and his staff know, Green Gully are leading Avondale, and that attempt that went wide might have cost them the premiership.
Second.
That's not the case in reality, of course, but they're not to know. That is the call.
Get back in.
They can't keep it in. Jamal Ali has the throw in. Dawson had two defenders on him. Heidelberg looking to take it quickly. Gowan gives chase to that pass from Ali. Muscle off it by Gillingham, and it'll be a goal kick with just over 2 minutes 30 of regulation remaining. As it stands next week, we're going to get a Dandy Derby elimination final. Dandenong Thunder hosting the Dandenong City. Oakley hosting the Preston Lions in the other elimination final. Avondale and Heidelberg, well, normally they'd have the week off, but they'd probably be in action because they're both Australia Cup semi-finalists. And some thought amongst the Heidelberg people that I spoke to before the game is that the semi-finals might look to get staged next weekend to avoid too much of a fixture build-up. Both of those games being hosted by NPL Men's Victoria sides, Avondale and Heidelberg. NPL Men's Victoria flying the flag for the member federations. Collins heads it forward, Laban sends it back. Larson can't get a head on it. All up for grabs. Dara goes back to get it. He's found by Laban, and Laban's going to kick it away, and that's going to earn him a yellow card. Just over 60 seconds of regulation remaining per the scoreboard here at JL Murphy Reserve. Have to envision that we're in for quite a lot of stoppage time. Sliding challenge from Daniel Serra, puts it out. He'll have himself a throw-in just by the corner flag. The city side of the ground. Attempted long throw-in, nodded on. Game ahead, tennis breaks out. Eventually it's met by Fulton, who sends it goalward, but he's won himself a corner kick. Heidelberg United assistant coaches immediately spring forth. Serve as ball kids and get a ball out to Chokdao, who's going to take over corner duty. Choctaw delivers. It's a good one to the top of the 6-yard box. It was met. A decent header from Jamal Ali, but he couldn't get around it. He sends it out, and there will be 4 minutes of added time here at the end of this second stanza. 4 minutes.
Good boy, Johnny!
4 minutes, which will probably turn into 5 now, or 4.5 at least, after Kurtz is just slow to get up after that corner. Goal kick for Luka Romic. Harbinson nodded it on. Now there's a break on for the Sharks. They got the numbers. Harbinson knocking it forward. Collins got in the road and winning himself a free kick. Moved forward. Carson brought it down. Rafi to Adara. Spins away from the pressure. Yokokawa, McGowan has the cross get away from him. That final ball has been the Achilles heel of Heidelberg all day. They've gone full-time at Jack Edwards Reserve. Oakley have finished their regular season with a 3-0 win over 10-player South Melbourne. They will finish the season in 4th and host an elimination final. We've also gone full-time at Knights Stadium. Melbourne Knights ending their campaign relegated and with a 5-1 defeat against the Altona Magic. A historic season for Melbourne Knights for all the wrong reasons. Brought to maybe a merciful conclusion. As that ball gets knocked forward, Moadara onto his left, close down. Play on is the call. It's been the call all day. Nathleen's header. Fulton giving chase. Free kick to Heidelberg. Just over 60 seconds left in all likelihood. Rafi. Dara being closed down, sent it back from whence it came. Cleared away by Port Melbourne. Souza knocks it forward. Rafi sends it to the top of the box. Brought down Ali. Shot blocked away. Port. They'll get a brief period of respite, but not much as that ball goes out. For a Heidelberg throw-in, Souza comes forward to provide the option. Full time at Churchill Reserve. Hume have beaten St Albans 4-0. So that ball gets sent into the top of the box. McGowan's shot blocked away. And Luka Romic comes out to claim it, and then we'll just milk a few precious seconds off the clock before picking it up. Hume City's win, however, doesn't look like it's going to be enough as Dandenong City 3-0 leaders over Melbourne Victory Youth. Melbourne ball. Full time at BT Connor Reserve. Preston have beaten the Dandenong Thunder 2-0. So Heidelberg United will be in the Australian Championship in a couple of months' time as the NPL Men's Victoria representatives. And full time makes it official. The point would have been enough Preston's win over the Dandenong Thunder adds something to it, and Heidelberg United, after a big week in the club's history, they will end their season with a 2-2 draw against the Port Melbourne Sharks. Wouldn't have mattered for their premiership aspirations in the end, as Avondale have finished out the season as 2-1 winners over Green Gully. But there will be October football for Heidelberg United as a Victorian representatives in the Australian Championship. And John Anastasiadis' side, well, their eyes can now turn not just to finals football, where they will get a week off in the NPL Men's Victoria playoffs before hosting a semi-final. They will also look ahead to an Australia Cup semi-final and a chance to become just the second member federation side in the competition's 11-year history to reach the deciding game. Port Melbourne, their relegation is now official. Relegated for the first time since they came up in the 2012 campaign. Last time it took them 9 years to get back to the top flight. It remains to be seen how long they'll be out this time. They'll be in the VPL 1 next year, as will the Melbourne Knights and Melbourne Victory Youth. So a fantastic regular season of the NPL Men's Victoria campaign is in the books. Finals beckon for Avondale, Heidelberg, the Dandenong Thunder, Oakley, Preston and Dandenong City. VPL 1 beckons for Victory, Port Melbourne and Melbourne Knights. But be sure to catch every game of the finals for the men's and women's competitions on the NPL Victoria YouTube page throughout the coming weeks. My name has been Joey Lynch. Thank you ever so much for your company this afternoon. Thanks and success.
Relegated out of his real hell yeah. What a way to go. You know if there's a ceremony happening? Yes. Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, okay, cool.
How were you instructed to build the presentation if they want a premiership?
There's like, they might do one, they might not do one.
No, it's Avondale 1.
Oh, okay, great. So we're not going to.
interview or something? You're from the UK, right?
Of UK extraction, born in Australia.
Oh, okay, makes sense.
But to UK stuff.
Yeah, I was going to ask how long you've been here for. I was other way around, born in the UK, but just lived here. Lived in that.
Well, I was basically.
Yeah, it's crazy. I think it's crazy you retain your accent so well. Because I lived there, and I just sound awesome.
hopefully in a bit.